There is a special kind of pain that comes from knowing exactly what you want and still watching your life stay the same. You know you're capable of more. You feel it. Every time you see someone succeed, every time you imagine the person you could become, every time you promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. You don't lack ambition. You have dreams, big dreams, a better body, more money, more freedom, more confidence, a life that feels meaningful. The problem is not that you don't want it badly enough. The problem is that wanting something and working for it are two completely different things, and that is where most people get trapped. Because dreaming is easy, dreaming is exciting, dreaming costs nothing. You can imagine yourself successful while lying in bed. You can imagine yourself fit without stepping into a gym. You can imagine yourself wealthy without creating anything of value. For a moment, the fantasy feels real. For a moment, you feel productive. For a moment, you feel closer to your future. But then the feeling disappears, and reality remains unchanged. The workout wasn't done, the book wasn't read, the work wasn't finished, the promise wasn't kept, and tomorrow starts exactly where today ended. The cruelest part is that ambitious people suffer more than everyone else because they can see what they're missing. They know what they're capable of. They know they could do more. That is why regret hurts them so deeply, not because they failed, but because they never fully tried. Think about it. Failure at least gives you an answer. Failure teaches. Failure builds experience. But constantly postponing your life teaches nothing. It simply steals time. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And one day you wake up and realize you've been preparing for a life you never started building. Most people think they need more motivation. They don't. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you don't feel like doing anything. If your life depends on motivation, your progress will always be temporary. Discipline is different. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline does not care whether you are inspired. Discipline simply says, do it anyway. That is the difference between people who transform their lives and people who spend years talking about transformation. One group waits until they feel ready. The other begins before they are ready. One group follows emotions, the other follows commitments, and commitments change lives. The truth is that success is far less glamorous than people imagine. It is not one grand moment. It is hundreds of ordinary days. Waking up when you don't want to, working when nobody is watching, studying when progress feels invisible, going to the gym when skipping would be easier, keeping promises to yourself over and over again, boring, repetitive, uncomfortable, but powerful. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust, and self-trust changes everything. You stop seeing yourself as someone who quits. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always starts over. You become someone who follows through, someone who finishes, someone who can be counted on, even by yourself. The saddest thing in life is not failure, it is unused potential, a talent that was never developed, a dream that was never pursued, a life that was never fully lived. And the world is full of people carrying that burden, people who wanted more, people who could have done more, people who spent years waiting. Do not become one of them. Start before you feel ready. Start before you feel confident. Start before you have the perfect plan, because clarity comes from action. Confidence comes from action. Momentum comes from action. Not thinking, not wishing, not planning. Action. The life you want is still possible, but it will not be built tomorrow. It will be built today. With the decisions you make after this video ends, years from now you will meet the person your habits created. The only question is, will you be proud of who is waiting for you, or will you spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been? The choice begins now.